is Roger Moore here, and Infinity X-Rays to celebrate gospel music of Black origin. But the reality shows we see the war in Ukraine right now. Still, there are many wars, as I explained before in the previous show, that's going on in this world right now, and we're just sad to see this war that's going on. What can I say, man? Like, you know, guys, I've seen bombs get close to nuclear sites. You know, guys, we look at Chernobyl. You know what I'm saying? You know, and you know, and I remember when it happened, and it was like a crazy disaster. When we saw another, and I remember as a child in England, we was on about the effects of Chernobyl back then, how it affects some of our wildlife and everything. And then now to see that, you know, we're talking about another nuclear site was attacked by the Russians. It's just like, what on earth? It just really gives you the effects that could easily happen into the UK. You know, and you know, it's sad to see, and we want to pray out for the people that's in Ukraine. You know, white, black, Asian, whatever heritage, creed, color you are. We don't business, man. We're praying for everybody, because we know that's been an amazing heightened situation about black people and how black people are being treated in there. I've mentioned that before in the past, but the reality show is that, you know what, guys, this is the war. This is what war is really about. And I think that too often when we look at Afghanistan, when we look at other wars in Libya, in Cameroon, we don't see the details that we're seeing right now in the Ukraine. And I'm afraid, you know, when people see people come to this country, said they're fleeing from this war, we don't really take them seriously. But this is the realness of what they've been through. It's the first time we've seen it in Europe since World War II. But the reality show is it's been going on in Africa and Asia and so many countries, and it really makes you think, you know, I mean, this war machine that's going on around the world, what is it really doing, and how it's really affecting things. Yes, Russia could take over the country. It's like the other week, you know, we saw somebody who said they're going to go over to the war and help out. Reality shows, he was sent back, you know what I mean? I'm going to go with big fur coat and everything, and I was just so funny that they said, nah, you know, used to us, mate, you know. But at the end of the day, so yeah, there's 40 million people, you know, Russia can't hold that country. They have to put puppet control over it, because you know, it's what they're doing to it. You know, potentially they could be just mashing it up and then walking away, you know what I mean? But also there's really implications that this war is happening, guys. It's going to affect our prices when it comes to oil and gas. And, you know, for a long time, renewable sources was really put to us as a people, and we kind of ignored that. And now we've reality shows, if we focus more on that, wouldn't be in a situation, especially in Europe, about being really held to the gas reserves in Russia, and the gas pipes coming out of Russia. So, you know, for me, it's funny, because, you know, like over the years where you see Russia getting involved in things, and I notice how certain European countries won't really say anything too tough, really, because Russia's got them on a lock. You know what I mean? They're not about they're trying to wean down and wind off them gas wise, but they got people to supply. So it's funny. He put on sanctions, but he's still paying for oil and gas. You know, it's like one of the ones where whose fault is that? You know what I mean? I don't know, guys. You know, this is a very much war. It's very emotional as well. You know, I really see, like, you know, I see, you know, when we look at our, you know, prim and proper boxers, when we look at them Eastern European boxers, and they thought, yeah, they're soldiers. Them same guys, Usyk, Klitschko brothers, they're on front line. Like, maybe like front line, but they ain't watching the war from Monaco. You know, they're involved. They've got the millions, but they're not letting the Russians take off the land. When you see that passion and that drive, you're thinking to yourself, that is absolutely amazing. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, guys, you know, shout out to the Ukrainian people for standing up for your land. You know, and it's just a shame that it's going to be it's going to be really crazy. We're praying, you know, when I've seen how they're just blasting out the innocent, affecting children or women and men as well. You know, it's absolutely crazy. You know, and I notice how Britain is kind of shirking the responsibility now. Now we got Brexit. We really don't need to get involved with the whole immigration. I know how they're sneakily dragging out Priti Patel. Yeah, doing your usual deceptive self. You've been told to keep the numbers down, and you're doing your job. Fair play. But the reality show is that, you know, those Ukrainian people are struggling, and I think going to get in trouble if you carry on because because there are Europeans, and Europeans get favorable treatment. So trust me, you know, things will change in that respect. But it's kind of disgraceful when you have, I think it's about 50,000 slots, but only after a couple of days, only about a couple hundred come through. Absolutely ridiculous, you know what I mean? But really praying that things get sorted out. We're praying that the war will just end, you know what I mean, where it is, miraculously. You know, we pray that, you know, that the Ukrainian church will rise up and really pray against, you know what I mean, and really pray for its country and pray for deliverance, you know, for the country. But this war is real, guys, and it's good. You know, we come out of COVID into this war, guys. You know, it's traumatic. It is traumatic after trauma for people. It's traumatic to see, you know, scared children, scared women, scared men saying goodbye to the children and may never ever see the dad again. A 5-year-old, a 3-year-old. We ain't seen that stuff in the Europe since World War II. You know, guys, you know, this is some real stuff going on. So I'll just encourage us to really keep them in prayers, you know, and really pray, you know, the victory is, you know, we're all praying for Ukraine to, you know, take and hold its sovereignty and whatever. We're also praying for the people in Russia who seems to be really struggling in this situation. They're going to be struggling now because all the sanctions that's being put on them, it's ridiculous, but at the same time it's needed. And they're going like, it's not our fault, but we're getting done because somebody made a decision that we don't want to make, you know. And even the Russians in Ukraine are saying, now, what are you doing? You know what I mean? we never asked for this, mate. We asked for a little bit out, but not tearing down the country to bits and leaving nothing behind. And yeah, it's like a madman going crazy, man. I'm afraid if you really check it out, you know, you know, Putin, I'm not saying they totally lost the rocket, but you know, we have seen that leadership go a bit too far, you know, in the past, and you just carry on, and you lose perspective, you know. And it's sad, real sad. But you know, we have to bear them up in prayer and just keep it going, guys. And you know, the effects it will have, you know, on energy, on a lot of things going forward. The cost of living is going to keep on going up, guys. The effects of COVID hasn't really kicked in yet, guys. The effects of the government covering all of us over the period of furloughs and our business hasn't kicked in, let alone a war, sanctions, higher oil, gas prices. It's just going to favor the rich again, you know. So guys, just really do pray. Let's back each other up. Let's take care of each other physically, mentally and spiritually. This is Roger over now, and if you need extra, we're here to just support you guys and keep us up in your prayers that we can support you guys from afar off and give you some great music, man. And here's Sivas. We were born for this, man. Didn't know it at first until it rose to the surface.
Thank you for watching the content we're putting out. Listen, make sure that you are liking, subscribing and following us on all our social channels, including patreon.com. Make sure you're finding us on there to support what we do so we can support you. And